We are so excited to have you back as always. So why don't you go ahead and break down, let us know, what should we be streaming right now? Because we need some new stuff. We have so much time at home now. Unfortunately, we may be having a lot more time.
So funny. I say fortunately, and Rotten Tomatoes has your back. If you're trying to decide what to watch, there's so much to watch out there. Remember that we're the #1 place for your entertainment viewing choices. Some of my favorite lists on our website right now is the best movies of 2020 so far and the 100 worst movies of all time. You know how fun it is to like cozy up and just watch a bad movie. But as always, guys, you know I love streaming. So I wanted to give you guys some picks from different streaming platforms because I know not everybody has access to all the same stuff. And I wanted to start out with a reality show because Alex and Courtney, I know you guys love reality TV so much. It's not Black Ink Crew, but it's still very much legendary in its own right. And it's called Legendary. It's on HBO Max. It's fresh at 90% on the tomato meter. Guys, this needs to be your summer binge because this show will turn your quarantine couch into like an actual seat at a concert venue. If you want to laugh, cry, jump up, cheer, judge people, as most of us like to do when we watch reality shows, Legendary's for you. But I love it because it's uplifting, like we were talking about earlier. So it's a reality voguing competition series. It celebrates ballroom culture, which started in New York as a subculture that really served as a safe haven for primarily Black and Latinx LGBTQ people. And these are people who didn't feel accepted for being who they are. They were outcasted by their families and society. They chose to find and create their own new families. And these families are very real and they all live in different houses together. So in the show, we see 8 houses or families compete in fashion, dance challenges that include voguing, all for a trophy and a cash prize. We also get to see their personal stories of coming out, finding their family, finding themselves through ballroom. It's a very touching show. If you guys don't know what voguing or ballroom is, I feel like most people do, but I just wanted you to know that if you don't, you will get a crash course of it right at the top of the first episode. Yes, guys. And this is why Legendary is so legendary, because it's highlighting the real people from this community. It's not in a scripted format. It's a reality show. So if you liked FX's Pose, it's like Pose, but a reality show version. But instead of Billy Porter, you have, the king of voguing, Deshaun Wesley. You got judges like Jamila Jamil, Law Roach, Leonie Maldonado, who's a ballroom icon. Courtney, I heard you mention Megan Thee Stallion. She's a judge on this show. At the end of the series, she does perform Savage. I know that might be like a mini spoiler, but I just needed to share that. And the last thing I'll tell you guys about this show is what I found very interesting is that the finale was shot in March in New York, right when the COVID numbers were sort of escalating. So it's the first show I've seen that has aired that had to adapt to the new COVID environment because they shot the finale with no audience. So Legendary is definitely my first pick if you just want something very uplifting and fun and just fabulous, It's so good. And just so you guys all know, season 2 is renewed and season 1 took place in New York and season 2 is going to be in LA. So I'm so excited for that. Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So the next show I want to tell you guys about is on Netflix. I'm excited because I feel like most people at home have Netflix. It's the Babysitters Club. It's 100% on the tomato meter, 100%. And I also want to mention it has an audience score of 95%. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you can go to RottenTomatoes.com and you can also see what audiences are saying about shows and movies. And I feel like fan sentiment is just as important as what the critics are saying. It's also on our list of the top TV shows of 2020 so far. It's a fantastic adaptation of the cult classic books from the 80s and 90s written by Anne M. Martin. And it's also a reboot of the classic film, The Babysitters Club, which, by the way, you guys can watch for free online if you've never seen it or if you want to rewatch it. But if you haven't read or seen the movie or you don't know anything about Babysitters Club, it's about a group of girls who start a babysitting business for their community. And it's also about their friendship. And each one has a broken relationship with one or both of their parents. So I love that it touches on themes that kids and adults can both relate to. The reason why I love this show so much is because while I love the movie, I just felt like the movie wasn't long enough to bring all these incredible characters from the Babysitters Club to life. So now we have 10 episodes, all updated storylines, and it just makes you feel good. So it's one of those, it's my go-to show for ordering sort of like soup and cozying up and just it's iconic 90s nostalgia. But while it does truly capture the heart of the 90s, there's more representation. The storylines are updated. It very much reflects the world we're living in now. There's two characters like Dawn and Marianne that are played by actors of color now. So I was so stoked. I was like, there's a Latina in the Babysitters Club. And the last thing I'll tell you guys is it also stars Alicia Silverstone, our godmother from the godfather of all teen movies, Clueless. Courtney, I know you are so obsessed. I saw you got the 25th anniversary Blu-ray. But what's so dope is if you love Clueless, if you love Babysitters Club, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in the show for fans of that. There's even a Queer Eye homage in the show. So this show just really has everything, and they really nail it.
Naz, I watched this last night, just checked out a few episodes. I just want to say, going back to them Easter eggs, Alicia Silverstone, for those of y'all that are Clueless freaks like myself, the daughter said something about, I guess she's really not so clueless. And I literally screamed and almost spilled water all over. I said, now that is good writing.
I know. It's like they're writing for us, you know, like they know, like if you've never seen Clueless, it's such a must-watch movie. But that's what's so fun is that it's really a show for everybody, for people that grew up with this stuff or for people that are just now getting into it. So yes, yeah. I also freaked out. I was like, as if. I loved it so much.
Probably the last books I may have read, but I am so excited to watch this and hear about all these like special cameos you're talking about. This sounds really good, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good. And if you love the books, like Alex, every episode is sort of based on a book. Like Claudia and the Phantom Calls was one of my favorite books, so that's an episode. So it's really exciting if you are a fan of the universe. But anyways, so those were two shows, Legendary and the Babysitters Club, that are out right now. But now I want to tell you guys about things coming up all next week that you should mark your calendars for. So get your phone, your notepad out or whatever, because these are really good. And this next one, I'm actually very excited to tell you guys about because it's a documentary and I feel like documentaries sort of fly under the radar. It's called Boy State. It's on Apple TV Plus. It comes out next Friday and it's 94% fresh. So Boy State follows a week-long annual program where 1,000 Texas high school senior boys get together to build their own state government. It's a conference, and this actually happens every year. So when they get there, they randomly get split up into two political parties, and they have to go through all the political procedures. They have to get signatures. They have to come up with a platform, campaigning, all to get elected. The highest position they can run for is governor, but there are other things they can run for too. What's great about Boy State is that we follow four very different, diverse boys that go and attend this conference. And what I find compelling is while we're watching them, we're sort of getting a snippet of the different kinds of leaders there are. We follow a Black boy, a Latino boy, a white boy, a boy who's a double amputee. When I tell you guys that this documentary is a roller coaster, it is an understatement. I laughed, I gasped, I cried. I was very much drawn to it because it's shot like a movie. It's very much a cinematic experience, which I can't imagine how hard it was to logistically pull off. You know, you're on the edge of your seat. It is terrifying and encouraging all in one. Just watch the trailer. You guys will see what I mean. On top of that, I just had no idea Boys or Girls State was a program or even existed until I watched this documentary. So since 1937, these programs have been around to sort of serve as like an early step for future leaders around the country. So people like Neil Armstrong, Ann Richards, Bill Clinton all went to Boys or Girls State. And now I'm just dying for the filmmakers, Amanda McBain and Jesse Moss, to do one on Girls State, because let's be real, we all know the girls are like running it over there. But the last thing I'll tell you guys is it won the grand jury prize for Best Documentary at Sundance. So I really think that this will be a contender for Best Documentary at the Oscars and the Academy Awards. So if you love documentaries like I do, it's relevant, it's wildly entertaining. It is just a must-see into the capricious nature of our country's two-party political system. And it's also a great look at the passion that our youth has today about politics.
That I picked out the trailer, and my favorite part, Naz, is when one of the boys said that he's speaking about someone else, and he says he's a great politician, but that's not necessarily a compliment. That part of the trailer.
Exactly. His name was Renee, and it's just, if you guys have ever seen The Politician on Netflix, I know I've talked to you about it. I'm really obsessed with The Politician. This is like the real life politician, like real life version of that. So it's really crazy and interesting. And I think because of everything that we're going everything that's going on in the world, it's important to watch things like this and then talk about it with your family and friends.
Very, very important. It looks amazing.
Yes. So my next show is called In My Skin. It comes out a week from today. It's on Hulu. So if you guys have Hulu, write this down, July 30th. And so it's a British dark comedy. It's a coming of age show. We follow a 16-year-old Welsh girl. Her name is Bethan. And she struggles to keep her difficult home life a secret from all her friends at school. So her mother suffers from a mental illness. Her dad struggles with alcoholism. And on top of that, she's, dealing with the anxieties of high school, coming to terms with her own sexuality. I related to this show because I feel like a lot of us struggle with our home life, especially our parents. Sometimes we grow up wishing our parents were just different people or something that they're not. And at the end of the day, guys, we don't get to choose our family. And many people deal with emotional difficulties with their family. Some people even have to raise themselves or take care of their parents. So I really like that this show can make people who feel like that sort of feel seen while watching this show, if that makes sense. What's even more interesting is that it's loosely based on the real life of its creator. Kaylee Lewin, I think is how you say her last name. But much like the show's lead character, Kaylee grew up caring for her mother. She had bipolar disorder, and she just hid it from all her friends at school because she was scared of being ostracized if anybody found out. So it's led by this actress. Her name's Gabrielle Creevy. She's a relative newcomer. She's absolutely brilliant. And while it is a very dark show, guys, it is funny. And let's be real, some of my hardest laughs in life have just come in my darkest moments. And it's made up of 5.5 hour episodes. So it's a really quick, easy binge. Highly, highly recommend In My Skin.
Naz, we've been talking about mental health a lot lately, especially in regards to Kanye West. So I really think that it sort of fits in with all that we've been talking about. That sounds like I need to check that out, girl. Nice little bowl of tomato biscuit and some grilled cheese, girl.
Well, I just say I absolutely love the BBC, with Fleabag, Normal People. So I'm excited to see another kind of dark comedy from BBC. So that sounds amazing and very relatable for many people. So I want to check it out, definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Normal People because Normal People was another BBC co-production Hulu dropped. It's 90% fresh on the tomato meter. And when it came out, it was such a hit. It came out, I think, 2 months ago, Alex? And so people are just left wanting more. So In My Skin will definitely fill that void if you were a big fan of Normal People and you're looking for something to watch. Again, that comes out next Thursday. But now I got to tell you guys, I saved the best for last. So I hope you're excited because I know I said that Hamilton was the event of the year, but I may have spoken too soon because Disney Plus is Black is King next Friday, July 31st. I am so stoked because this is the only one I'm talking to you guys about today that I haven't seen. And I just have 2 words, Queen Bee. All right, moving on to my next show. I mean, do I even need to say more? Black King is going to be a visual album. So it's based on the music of The Lion King, The Gift. And it's written, directed, executive produced by the 24 Grammy Award winner, Beyonce. As we all know, she voiced Nala in the live action version of Disney's The Lion King. And so Black King is going to be premiering next Friday on the 1-year anniversary of when the live action Lion King came out last year. What I can tell you guys right now is that it was in production for an entire year and it reimagines the lessons of The Lion King for today's youth. So the best part about this is that the lessons are reflected through the Black voices of today. So Black is King. It's about a young king's journey through love, betrayal, and self-identity. His ancestors guide him towards destiny, along with the help of his childhood lover, his father's teachings. And he goes through all that to reclaim his home and throne. And guys, I just get chills thinking about it because I know most of us know the story of The Lion King. It's so powerful and moving. Most of us cried for the first time watching The Lion King. So I just really can't wait to see it reimagined in this way. If you didn't get Disney Plus for Hamilton, if you've never had Disney Plus, now is the time to hop on it. You guys can watch the teaser trailer. It's online right now. And all I got to say is if there's anything we learned from Lemonade or any of Beyonce's visual art, Black is King is about to be the most epic thing to stream this summer. So please do not sleep on it.
Whew, I need that, Naz. It's looking like a hot summer event, girl. I got to crack the window. Girl, I'm ready.
Yeah, we spoke about Black is King a little bit on the show earlier this week. So the T Tribe is already excited about that, but we are so happy to learn more about it from you, Naz. Like this is, it is going to be the event of summer. Like it really is. And like you said, Lemonade, all her other visual albums, like she knows how to do it. She knows how to produce great content. So it's only going to be beautiful. Beautiful.
Exactly. It's basically Beyonce's version of the Lion King. Like that's probably the most simple way I could say it. And I mean, what more do we need right now, you know?
On that note, thank you, Naz, for coming on the show again for another Watch With Us segment. T-Tribe, get excited because Naz will be back for more. I think she'll be back all next month. And this Watch With Us segment is not going away anytime soon because we love Naz that much. So thank you again for being on the show today. And we'll see you next time. We got to go stream. We have things to do.